How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back. How are we doing? Hello, hello. Dude, I don't know how I got in this topic. I was just thinking about Flash games earlier today, and I was like, man, what a fucking time to be alive. Didn't Adobe fully go down, too? Like, it's just not a thing anymore? I'm pretty sure... Or did someone... someone has to have tried to, like, preserve old Flash games. Surely. Oh, is the voice volume a little low? Oh, shit. Did I need to turn it up? Hold on. Let me also turn down the chill step. My voice mod might have also crashed. That happens quite a bit. Hello, everyone. Hello, Matthew over on Instagram. We're once again rolling with like 5 different streams at once. So if I miss your chat, I'm so sorry. I'm really doing my best. I've got TikTok here, YouTube right next to it, fucking Twitch right next to that, and then Instagram is down here. Juan says Flash players were a vibe, but Flash players are gone, says Dethan. I feel like someone should have tried to do some like Internet Archive type shit though. Sergeant says hi TikTok and hi YouTube. Hi! And Victor says how is everyone? We're doing good. Mag says Adobe killed Flash. So was it just not a profitable project? I mean, to be fair, it is Adobe. And Adobe is not exactly known for being really good about its money. They're so money grubby, it's insane. Speaking of someone who tried to cancel her Adobe subscription until they begged on their hands and knees to give me another 90 days free, and I was like, yeah, fine. Hi, Hunter. Hello, hello. Deuce Covington over on YouTube says hello. It's Marathon says Twitch chat, best chat. How's the volume doing now, by the way? Is it a little bit better? Also, hello to Myodra who says hi, other chats. Jeff in the Wise is here. Brosidian wants me to hydrate immediately off the bat. Dude, hey, Prismatic, how's it going? And Dethan says it was just outdated. Oh, okay. I remember the Henry Stickmin games. That was like a really big thing. Luki says Flash had major security issues and stuff like HTML5 was just so much easier to write for. Oh, so like the concept of a Flash game still exists then. Gotcha. Yeah, someone on Instagram is saying there was too prone to viruses. That makes sense. Security nightmare. Yeah, that tricks. But let's see. What was I gonna say? Hello, everyone who is here from Instagram as well. Lovely to see you. We're just kind of like existing, and we don't have a plan for today except to talk about Flash games. I don't know why. I didn't even play like a lot of them as a kid. I was not allowed to. And so that's not really my thing. Timberland says, I think Newgrounds is still alive. I'm afraid to go on it. What if it's just like full of... What if it's full of like porn-style Smash games? Flash games. I mean, they are kind of Smash games, I guess, a little bit, but you know what I mean. What if I don't want to like go on it on stream, especially if it's a virus risk, like you guys are saying. Oh, God. But... Hello, Film Addict says, hey there, Diana, sending love from Thailand. Hi! Twitch is bugging out for me, so I'm joining from YouTube. No worries, welcome into the YouTube crowd. Hey, Biggie, hello, hello. And Luke says, yeah, the concept still exists. Most these days are HTML5, like Homestar Runner. Oh, why have I heard of that? What am I, is that not like a web comic? Maybe? Let's see. PF says, most malware companies posed as Flash. Oh, gotcha. And then Wit and or Sarcasm says, however Newgrounds is. Do any of you guys remember Powder Game? Oh, man. Also, DBC said Newgrounds is alive, but they have adult section that isn't visible by default. Okay, and House Duggins says Homestar Runner is the best. What am I thinking of? I'm thinking of Homestuck. The one where it's like a bunch of like webcomic type things that kind of posed as games, but not really. And then people got really into, like uncomfortably into it. It was like theater kids, and then Homestuck kids, and then Tumblr kids. We're all like right there. Bass the Snake, hi, welcome in. D&D Lover 132, welcome in. Same with After Phil. And then Tamarathon is on 20 streams in a row. Welcome back, friend. Welcome back for your slow grind to 100 stream streak. Hello, hello. Also, Hato says, hey Diana, how are you doing post-cons? We're doing good, we're doing better. We're existing. We're doing a little bit better than we were. I haven't been coughing as much. That's always good. Also, Spooky Spark says hello. Hi! And then same with Muriak. Lucas says Homestar Runner's 100%. I think Diana would not know about it until she goes, oh, right, that thing. It's from there. It was a little niche. Hold on. You guys are also saying it as one word. Homestar Runner. Oh, wait. No, this does not look recognizable to me in the slightest. Well, this? Am I supposed to know this? Well, I mean, I feel like the mask looks kind of familiar, but it's like in the same way that those games that you would have on a CD and get from the library as a kid to teach you how to do like typing and math and all that. Like it gives me that same vibe. So I don't know if I actually recognize it or if it's just in the same level of shit from childhood. Nice Mike says, big fan of your work. Thank you. And then Pork says, hey, came from TikTok, love your D&D content. Oh my gosh, thank you. And hello to everyone on TikTok. Vinny is here as well. Hello, hello. And then Jay Wiggle says, man, I used to play Bratz, Barbies, Flash Tank, and Fish Tank, and Raise? I miss them too. Dude, that was... oh my god, there were like little games that I played as a kid where I could like have a wait, someone says Mavis B can teach us typing. What did I have? I had oh my god, there's no way I can Google this. There's no fucking shot that Google actually knows what I'm talking about. But there was a kids game that I had that was like critical thinking for kids, and there was a puzzle that you could do on it. Also, hi Pork is good, welcome in, and thanks for starting Hype Train over on Twitch. We're gonna talk Twitch stats in a sec, by the way, because we're talking about the what is it? It's like Twitch Wrapped, essentially, just came out. So I got to see all my stats on that. I haven't posted it yet. I figure I'll post it tomorrow or something. But you guys did amazing this year, helping out the community as it grows and all that. Tamara that says, I think we need Diana to watch Trogdor right now on stream. Why do I know that word? Yeah, Twitch Recap, not Twitch Wrapped. Everything that's doing a fucking Wrapped nowadays is Fucking wild. Are we also, I thought the Spotify Wrapped would have come out like 3 weeks ago. What the hell is the holdup? Am I, or have I just not been using Spotify correctly? Is it hidden somewhere? Because I'm fully 100% going in 1000% expecting my top played song to be the fucking Beowulf version of Savior on repeat. Not because I'm religious. I want to put that out there. I'm definitely not. It's just a good song. And if you ignore all the religious connotation, it's really nice to fall asleep to. So I listen to it on an airplane so I can get a little nap in. So that's just been on repeat over and over and over again. My auditor says it's usually a week after Thanksgiving. Oh, okay. And Vicky says I have no clue what you're talking about. We're talking about like 7 different things at once. I don't know what direction I'm gonna take this stream in yet, so we're just kind of like throwing a wide net out here. Ethan says YouTube Music has theirs out, but Spotify is behind. I wonder what they're gonna do. I'm also on a slow countdown until Spotify inevitably just throws it all over to AI and stops doing actual original raps. And then we just go into full AI slop. Which is unfortunate. So I'm hoping that's not this year. Also, D&D Lover says, hey, how's your week? And also, how are you zooming in and out on your screen? You mean this? This is some live retention editing that I do thanks to my stream deck that only the people who are on YouTube and Twitch and TikTok can see right now. So I'm so sorry if you're watching on Instagram. You won't be able to see it. But, oh, Trogdor is from Homestar Runner, which is why you know it. Because it's like that dragon thing that people draw, right? With the shitty wings? With the muscles? Right? Maybe? Victor says they moved to Spotify Wrapped to later in the year because people complained that it was too early. At least that's what I heard. Also, Sachi says do a flip. I can't do it while you're watching. I have flip erectile dysfunction. Can't do it. It makes me nervous. Jordan says, man, Lukic nailed how Diana would recognize Homestar Runner. Actually, though, yeah. Speaking of Lukic has actually started a kind of like a competition, I suppose, in the Discord right now, where whoever makes a Diana of the Rose themed Magic the Gathering card gets entered to win a giveaway for free merch. It's independent of me, but I just said that if you made a good card, then I would throw it on a t-shirt and then send a free t-shirt with the card on it in addition to whatever merch Lukic is gonna get you. So there's a competition, I guess, that's happening in the Discord. I guess. Sachi says that's wild. But Figgy says FD is a big problem, so we understand. See, thank you. Welcome to the Flip Erectile Dysfunction awareness stream for those who can't get it up and then also around and then back on their feet again, you know? We help people get back on their feet again after Flip Erectile Dysfunction. Timberlake says I'm gonna break out Photoshop for this. I hope you mean the card giveaway and not the erectile dysfunction jokes. Please don't do that. Nazir says, I love that we get to see the behind the scenes with the various angles of different streams. Yeah, so if I wanted to. Let's see. People talking about joining the Discord. Yeah. Also, hi, Duck. Hello, hello. And Vinny, let's see. Over on... Oh my god, talking about Math Blasters? No, so it's... Oh, fuck me. Am I just gonna have to pull up a list of CD? It was like a bright orange CD. A bright orange CD-ROM. And it came with a bunch of different variants. Like, it came in a giant... Can YouTube see Twitch chat? YouTube cannot see Twitch chat, actually. I don't think YouTube can see Twitch chat. Twitch cat can't see YouTube. Oh no, wait, hold on. YouTube can see everything. Sorry. If you're watching on desktop. If you're watching on mobile, you can't see anything. I'm so sorry. But let's see. Also, it's Carmsy over on Instagram says, I wanted to ask you how long you've been playing D&D. About a decade now, actually. And your best advice for beginner DMs, don't read the book. That's my best advice, is to just learn the rules as you go. The fastest way to learn is to watch someone else play. And then if you play at least once as a player, you're good to go as a DM. You really don't need to do that much more additional studying or anything like that. But always the DMs, hello, hello. And then D&D Lover says, oh yeah, I'm playing D&D as a gnome, but as a ceramic gnome. So I got hit once and shattered, but luckily someone in my party had healing word. So you're telling me you were just cosplaying as these guys? You know, respect. I feel like you could turn pretty much anything from Repo into a proper D&D character. Oh my god, they made a little 3D printed duck. That's pretty cute, actually. Lucas says, we all agree Dino Park Tycoon should be counted as an educational game as a kid, right? Do you guys remember Zoo Tycoon when you could, like, make the dinosaurs eat people? God, I remember the graphics for this game being way better. I was such a slut for Zoo Tycoon as a kid, and they had all the different versions. None of these screenshots are more than 7 pixels, by the way. I'm sorry, Instagram, you can't see it again. Head on over to the Twitch live stream, you'll see it there. Also, I had all of the Zoo Tycoons as a kid. I remember actually crying one Christmas because I really wanted Zoo Tycoon 2, and for some reason my parents got me just some random expansion pack without the actual base game because they didn't know how video games work, and I was crying for like an hour because I was like 8 at the time. Nasser says new merch, slut for Tycoon. You gotta be specific. It's gotta be Zoo Tycoon. It's gotta be the... Dude, do you guys remember the anteaters? Look at how small these guys were in Zoo Tycoon 2. I also bought the revamped Zoo Tycoon, the one that came out on Xbox forever ago. Horrible game, by the way. Nothing at all close to the original Zoo Tycoon. And it wasn't until Planet Zoo came out. This is where, listen, I'm a big fan of Zoo Tycoon style like simulator games, so I'm in it now. And they had Zoo Tycoon for Xbox and PC, but you couldn't go in and edit anything. You couldn't actually make a enclosure. You had to go in and just kind of stick with just a copy and paste enclosure and then slap it down on the ground somewhere. Whereas Planet Zoo is an actual decent fucking game, where you can actually like decorate. You can go in and be a zookeeper. You can go in and be a person walking around the zoo. But I remember you could, when you were a kid in Zoo Tycoon 1, you could feed people to the tigers and lions and things like that. And if they were hungry enough and stressed out enough, they would just start eating all of the like guests. And I remember getting so fed up with the game as a kid, and whenever I got to the point of just not wanting to do it anymore, I would just delete all the fences, lock everyone in the zoo, and then set all of the predators out and just let them go. God, now I really want to play Zoo Tycoon, dude. Is Zoo Tycoon even can I play the OG Zoo Tycoon? Can you still play the original Zoo Tycoon? I'm willing to bet no, because Planet Zoo is way better anyway. Trying to play the original Zoo Tycoon. Help me, Redditor. Abandonware.com. Antivirus doesn't like the download that it offers you, but it is an option. Good God, I missed that game. Let's see. DBC said, you can, but it's off Abandonware. I don't know if I'd try. Listen, my computer's my livelihood right now. If I fuck this thing over with a virus, I'm done for. But Jeff in the Y says, fantastic game. Yeah, and Tarathon says they made a Jurassic Park style zoo game. Dude, I forgot about that. Yeah, wasn't it actually officially licensed, or am I thinking of a different one? Also, El Torre de Commando, hi, says, yesterday in Brazil, some guy jumped in the lion enclosure in a zoo and got himself killed. Do you guys remember? Holy shit, that was a scene from The Happening. Not that The Happening was a good movie, and you guys definitely shouldn't watch it because it was a shit movie, but there was also Traces, I'm just watching and eating animal crackers. Hello. But there was a scene in The Happening where someone just like walked into a zoo enclosure, and yeah. Because The Happening was all about people basically offing themselves after some airborne virus gets to them. Also, Tickle Me Redacted says this reminds me of Harambe. Oh God, poor Harambe. Rest in peace. Good God. Also, Jevin says thankfully they're not gonna put down the lion. Yeah, it's not the lion's fault. Oh man. Also, Games Carlson says, hey, The Happening was badass. I actually really liked it. It's objectively it's just a weird premise. Also, Mark Wahlberg doing that thing. You know the thing. The face. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Just for like 3 hours. You know? Also, Phoenix says Harambe was at my local zoo. What, on tour? What do you mean he was like, oh, he's in your local Cincinnati? I thought you meant that he was doing like... just existing. Lady Bird Lie. Hello, says childhood favorite. I put so many hours into this game. Yeah. And then also your bud Dag says Mark Wahlberg looks perpetually baffled by everything. Yeah, look at this man. Hold on. How do you spell Mark Wahlberg? Look at him. He just kind of looks like this all the time. This man needs help. Let's see. Night of Bawa, hi, saying you can still play Flash games with Ruffle. And I kind of miss the early 90s PC gaming scene with Monkey Island, Wing Commander, and Wolf 3D. Is Wolf 3D a literal wolf simulator? Because if so, childhood me would have been all over that. Listen, the version of me that was really into Jesus. Someone on Instagram said The Happening, also known as Mark Wahlberg open mouth breathing for 2 hours. I gotta find screenshots of this man. Hold on. Mark Wahlberg, The Happening. Yeah, this is it. It's this for 2 hours and 30 minutes. He's just, the poor man is just confused. He has never known what's going on. The Happening is just Mark Wahlberg being like, what's happening? Over and over again until the movie ends. Kashkal said, dude kind of looks funky. You fit right into a funky bunch of people. Yeah. Yeah. Lucas says, I recall we brought him up the other week on stream. Anyone remember the context? Yeah, we brought him up on stream the other week because we were talking about The Departed. And the fact that Mark Wahlberg in this movie looks exactly like Leonardo DiCaprio in this movie, who looks exactly like the third guy in this movie, Matt Damon. This is just the same guy copy and pasted. And Mark Wahlberg was also in it. I will die on this hill. The reason I didn't like The Departed the first 3 times I tried to watch it was because I spent the first 30 minutes of it every single time thinking that everyone was the same person. And I couldn't figure out the movie. I was like, why do people love this stuff? Is it like an art thing? So, I don't know. Jayox says it looks like an alien on his first day in his human body and he has to poop, but he doesn't know how yet. Yeah, look at this. Also, Zooey Deschanel is also there. Which I always forget. Aren't they supposed, God, wasn't it like a thing where, God, he was supposed to be, was it Zooey Deschanel like cheating on him or something like that? Like that, it was very clearly a couple that was not meant together, that was stuck in the apocalypse together. Well, not the apocalypse, it's just the Eastern Seaboard, but who needs the Eastern Seaboard anyway? I don't know. Let's see. Tomo says, I was fully gonna bring up that this is my second Diana stream and Marky Mark has come up both times. I'm so sorry. I need to watch more movies that don't have Mark Wahlberg in them. Mark Wahlberg or fucking, what's his fuck from The Martian? Matt Damon. Right. So, corporate needs you to find the difference. Jesus fucking Christ. Corporate needs you to find the difference between these two men. I'm not wrong. That's Matt Damon. I know! Who know? Listen. It's the same fucking guy. I will also say one of my favorite, the nose. That's true. No, they have the same nose. This is the same nose in 2 different fonts. Also, Jordan says that's just because there's like 5 flavors of white man. I know. And then now there's whatever the fuck Glenn Powell is too. Fuck this man. I have nothing against him as a personal human being. He just weirds me out. He looks like a Ken doll, but like not in the uncanny way. This is just me shitting on actors. I'm so sorry. Also, I'm so sorry to everyone watching on Instagram who has no idea what I'm bringing up. So I'm actively, say hi to stream. We're talking, I'm so sorry. There's so much Glenn Powell I just exposed you to. We're just talking about actors now. I'm over on Twitch if you want to actually see the screen shares. Ben Affleck. Oh yeah. And then, dude, I just watched Gone Girl the other day. Holy shit. She could have done way better than Ben Affleck. Also, Gone Girl is a crazy movie. We talked about it on stream and then I watched it thanks to you guys, and holy shit. No one talks like a normal human being in this movie. Wait, hold on. Someone said Glenn Powell is like if someone tried to draw Captain America from memory. Yeah, actually. Hi, Myodra. Also, Notster wants me to do a posture check. I can absolutely do that. We have some new followers. Caperon, specifically. Bedazzled, Triceratops, Tori, and Ladybird. Hello, hello. And Ryan Reynolds, says Figgy. As a straight white man, Glenn Powell's my crush. Ryan Reynolds doesn't count. Ryan Reynolds is like a basic answer nowadays. I feel like... No, yeah, wait. This is 100% just... if someone tried to draw Captain America from memory. You're so right. Holy shit. Also, Cash Cow said, would that make him the Temu version of Chris Evans? What's worse than Temu? He's like the dollar store version of Chris Evans. if we're being so honest. I'm so sorry, Glenn Powell. I know you don't deserve all this hate. I don't know where it comes from. It just awakens something in me, but like not in the good way. Also, DNA says Spider-Man 3, bad boy Tobey Maguire gets me going. Holy shit, Tobey Maguire. Maguire's not spelled with a Q. What the fuck? Tobey Maguire. Spider-Man Venom? Because he turned into Venom or something like that, right? And didn't he have a whole like goth moment? And a dancing scene or something like that? I don't know. I can't get with the hair. Not really my vibe. The dance sequence in the street. Yeah, exactly. But let's see. Oh, Ladybird Lee says Viggo Mortensen is my based crush. Who's Viggo Mortensen? The only Viggo I know is the guy from John Wick. Mortensen? This guy is your Hear Me Out? What have I seen him in? Oh, Aragorn. Got it. I'm sorry. I still haven't seen Lord of the Rings. I tried a little. What has he been in recently? Is he really that old? No way. He's aged like 70 years in what must be 3 years. Oh man, he's a director now? Huh. Wild. No, I was thinking, there was this meme I saw once, and it's one of my favorite things ever. It's all about unconventional movie trilogies, right? Like trilogies that you shouldn't technically watch together because they aren't part of the same series, but if you do, it's kind of funny because they could, in theory, go together. And my favorite ever example of this is if you watch. Fuck me, what is it? What's the movie Saving Private Ryan, followed by The Martian, followed by Interstellar. Then you'll be watching 3 movies in a trilogy where Matt Damon needs to be rescued from increasingly ridiculous circumstances. That's my favorite thing ever. Also, Jordan says he's 67 now and he was 41 when he started filming in Lord of the Rings. This man was 41? This man was 41 years old when he was fucking Aragorn. This is a 40-year-old silver fox that I'm staring at? You're kidding. Was he bathing in the blood of children the whole time? Was he method acting? Also, Viper says canonically Aragorn was 87 when the Fellowship started its journey. I'm gonna shut the fuck up before I say something that someone's gonna clip. Let's see. Also, Vito says Glenn Powell, I missed something. We're hating on Glenn Powell, and by we, I mean me. It's purely me. I just don't like how he's in everything, and it's weird. That's it. I have nothing against the man personally. I'm sure he's I'm sure he's an okay, I'm sure he's fine as I'm sure he's an actor. Let's see. Also, Lucas says Con Air, The Rock, and Face Off Nick Cage trilogy. Oh, I've actually never seen Con Air. What's it about? I have seen Face Off. And I remember talking about it with some friends, especially like this one friend who saw it at a theater party growing up in high school. And then instantly he said every couple started doing like the face thing to each other. And he said it was really annoying. Oh, also, your butt dang says his name sounds incomplete. Luke says, I'm gonna spoil it. Con Air is about planes. Is it like Pan Am? Hold on, Con Air. And to be clear, we aren't talking about Australian air conditioning. Oh my God, what the fuck? Do they try and turn him into a 90s heartthrob? With this balding pattern? Also, Stevie says, imagine, oh my God, wait, hold on. Imagine how Chris Evans feels right now since Glenn Powell is in everything and looks way better than him. I wouldn't say way better. I'm just not partial to either, I think. Also, Krayak says Con Air is about cons taking over a plane. Oh shit, it's a prison transfer, but they take over the plane. This whole time? You're kidding. Wait, I thought Con Air was about like some random airline named Con Air, and it was just gonna be like some airline assistant drama or something. That sounds way more fucking interesting. I would have watched that forever ago if I had known it was about prisoners and hijacking. What the fuck? Luke says it's actually a movie about a convention in the sky. Dude, the super transmitter event would be even crazier. Let's see. Also, hello, Vault Dweller. And Viper says, Con Air is about idiots dancing on a plane to a song that was made famous because the band died in a plane crash. What? Was that before or after the band died? Oh, man. Also, Mr. Dice Guy says, I saw the title over on YouTube, flashing back to Neopets Flash games. Dating myself here, but in the early Google years, I spent far too many hours playing those. Oh my god, also someone says Steve Buscemi's in Con Air. So I wasn't a Neopets girly. We're gonna get back to the Steve Buscemi thing here in a sec. I was a, what do you call it? It starts with a W. It's not WizPets, it's a terrible name. What am I thinking of? Chad, help me out. Also, Hato says Con Air, the D&D one-shot. Dude, can you imagine? Webkins, that was it, Webkins. So I was a Webkins girly, and very specifically, I remember the DILF dog. What is his name? Dog. He's like the prospector, the gem collecting, this guy. He's on my Hear Me Out cake. I think we actually did put him on the Hear Me Out cake. The Webkins DILF dog. Yeah. His name is, fuck me, I should know this. Webkins Wiki, save me. Artie Fact. Good old Artie. I like it. I also love how my mods had to permit like 3 different versions of the word DILF just now. Crayhack says, I used to go to the Hallmark store for my Webkins. I had Frog. Yeah, the frog. Oh, so I think I had the pig growing up. I don't know. Webkins was forever ago, but my god, it was good times. Oh my gosh. Let's see. Also, Victorina over on TikTok says the cameos in Con Air are worth it alone. That's what we were gonna do. We were gonna go back and talk about, hold on, sorry, Artifact. Whoop. Also, sorry, Instagram. My phone is not yet in a case, so it's incredibly slippery. So sorry if that was incredibly loud. Phoenix says I still have Webkins somewhere. I remember begging for Webkins because my parents refused to get it because A, it was the recession, and B, we were poor. And, oh, also, have you hydrated to have been redeemed? I can hydrate. Here's one. But the way my parents were talking about it, oh, there's a third one. God, I miss Oregonian water every time I travel. So the, wow, what was I gonna talk about? Hydrating makes me lose my train of thought, and I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Probably a bad thing. We were gonna talk about Steve Buscemi. Buscemi Con Air. Every time I think about Steve Buscemi, I just think about, oh my god, this? Him? He's so young. Oh man. He's so young. He reminds me of, who's the guy who plays the clown in It? Who's not Bill Hader, but they have the same vibe in my head for some reason, and I can't put my fucking finger on why. Hold on. Bill Skarsgård. He looks exactly like young Steve Buscemi. Please tell me this has been called out before. Atori says Buscemi is the best meme of 2011. Someone said Tim Curry. No, not quite. But yeah, Bill Skarsgård. So, hold on. Instagram, I'm gonna show you this because this is at least worthy of you guys seeing. Let me flip the camera around. So, Bill Skarsgård, right? Young guy. Young Steve Buscemi. Corporate needs you to find the difference between these two men. It's the same fucking guy, except they both look vaguely like they could also be the guy from One Direction. Krayak says, I love that Diana consumes zero media and has all these famous people in her brain. Not well. I never know the names of the people in my brain. I just exist. Sir, hello over on TikTok. And then also Mr. Dice Guy says DILF and Dog are not words that I've ever heard together. Thanks for that. You're welcome. Also, Night Shift Loser said they could be cast as father son in a horror. They could. Wasn't there this one movie where Bill Skarsgård was, oh fuck me, what was it called? It was a really weird name. It was Barbarian. And wasn't he in Barbarian? And he was universally believed to be the bad guy and the killer in the movie. Spoiler for Barbarian, by the way. Where he was universally considered to be the bad guy in the movie because he played the bad guy in It, and he was the bad guy in John Wick, and he's just universally a bad guy in, like, he's typecast as that, and then he ends up being the victim first thing, right? Anyway, that was him. Yeah, there we go. Marathon, thanks for gifting a sub to Kleptofur. Saying, I care not for Five Nights at Freddy's, or Alienware, or Ford. Dude, if we're shouting out brands we just don't like, I've got a list. Hello, Wilso, over on Instagram. And then Schuyler, over on TikTok, says, Barbarian is such a good movie. I thought it was interesting, but I also read the script. I didn't watch it, necessarily. Because I'm that type of person. Also, Ethan says, nah, we can't do Steve Buscemi like that. He's a good guy. When I think of Steve Buscemi, I think of, hold on. Here we go. This is it. Quote of the century. Top 10 hardest lines ever dropped in modern media. And it came from fucking Spy Kids too. Also, Ethan says I'm serious, do Steve Buscemi 9/11. Why? Also, Voltaire says, which brands are getting the hammer, Diana Rose? Ooh. I've immediately forgotten every brand I've ever known. Does Glenn Powell count? Oh my god, also, Ethan says, trust your mod. Okay, hold on. Steve Buscemi. 9/11. He was a former firefighter with Engine 55, but returned to his old firehouse after September 11th to assist in the rescue and recovery efforts at Ground Zero. He worked 12-hour shifts for several days. Holy shit! There's actually a picture of him. Whoa. He really did it. The mad lad did it. Not 9/11, the rescue part of 9/11. I realize I can't say such and such did 9/11 in that context. Also, HG says the fact that he's in Pulp Fiction is great. You know who I absolutely fucking love? Who was in Pulp Fiction? Hold on. Where is he? Not Quentin. Tim Roth. And please don't ruin this illusion for me if Tim Roth is actually like a horrible human being. But Tim Roth in specifically, oh fuck me, what was the one? Nope. I had it, I'm losing it. It's the TV show where he reads people's minds, but not really. Also, hi, First Real Ninja, welcome in. Tomo says Steve Buscemi did 9/11, literally Diana just now. Hold on. Let's see, Lucas says we're gonna all watch Reservoir Dogs again now. I've actually never seen Reservoir Dogs. I am unfamiliar with the concept, I believe. That's a new one to me. But didn't he also walk in he was like a model at some point, not recently, but he like walked on a runway and then the internet went crazy because they were like, he has peak like, oh my God, what do you call it? Like almost evil person energy, like villain energy, but in kind of a hot way. Also, Fish, hello, it's saying you're alive. Concred got me bad. It got me bad too, holy shit. Lie to Me, that was it. Yeah, wit and or sarcasm. So Lie to Me was, in my head, a really solid show. I realize now it probably wasn't nearly as good as I remember. It's like, I remember Leverage being really fucking good as a TV show. And then looking back on it, it's actually not bad. Not that good. But Patches over on Instagram also says that you've brought a ton to my campaigns. Thank you. Ah, thank you. Oh my God. And then Lino says villain energy, but in a hot way. So villain energy. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, Lie to Me was I remember it being a really good show. Says Kilcree is talking about it. I feel like it was, hold on. Tim Roth, Lie to Me. I liked it. I really liked it. I feel like it was cut short, but maybe I'm wrong. It was also a precursor to, at least in my head, The Blacklist. So, I don't know. I thought it was cool. Also, Atori de Commando says Mads Mikkelsen has a hot villain vibe. Is now a good time to talk about my theory about Mads Mikkelsen, where I believe every culture has a Mads Mikkelsen? Like an actor Mads Mikkelsen. Every culture has someone who looks exactly like Mads Mikkelsen, but for that culture. Allow me to pull up Exhibit A. Here's Mads Mikkelsen. Right? This is him. Korean Mads Mikkelsen. Corporate wants you to find the difference. I also saw the Mexican version. No? People are saying no? Damn it. I swear. Kleptobeard says, don't you do this. Listen. Also, James says this overlay is super cute. Thank you. So I'm pretty sure, and I can't remember who the actor was for the Mexican version. Also, Tori says, where's Bollywood, Matt Mikkelsen? I haven't dove that far yet. I don't watch a lot of Bollywood, so I don't know, but I'm sure there is one. That's my point here. I am face blind, 100%. Your butt dank says, high cheekbones and sunken eyes. Yeah. Also, Crowsperch says, wait, there's a Mexican Matt Mikkelsen too? I'm pretty sure, yeah. Senor Mikkelsen. I remember seeing him recently in something too. It wasn't, what was I watching that was in Spanish? Maybe it's not Mexican, maybe it's Spanish, Matt Mikkelsen. Was it The Platform? I can't remember, but he exists. Lucas says, what about Lars Mikkelsen? Who is Lars Mikkelsen? News to me. HG also says John Wick Spanish dub. They would just, it's just, what's his fuck doing all of the roles. Hold on, John Leguizamo. Leguizamo. He just does every single role. Lars' brother. Lars is Mads' brother. He's an actor too. Oh. Wait. Lars Mikkelsen. Also, Therius, welcome in. Hello, hello. They're siblings. Oh. Wow, they look nothing alike. What is he in? Why is he blue? Admiral Thrawn. Oh, he's a Star Wars guy. Okay. I see it. That's fair. Let's see. Apathetic Panda, welcome in. Thank you so much. Fish says I'm looking for the Bollywood Mads Mikkelsen right now. Please report back. And so everyone's saying Thrawn. Yes. My favorite actor's brother. Prawn. Oh, goodness. Steven says he's a Star Wars guy is so reductionist. I haven't seen Star Wars. I'm sorry. I'm also, at this point, struggling to find who isn't in Star Wars, at least a little bit. I mean, I'm willing to bet anything that Mads Mikkelsen in all his forms is in Star Wars at some point. Let's see. Hellsent Viper says, I feel like Benicio del Toro is Hispanic Mads Mikkelsen. Ooh. Maybe it was, you know, actually, no, I see where you're coming from. Benicio isn't who I was thinking of, but I see it. I think he looks exactly like, Benicio del Toro is the Hispanic version of the guy from The Boys, whose name I can't fucking remember. This asshole. This is the same person in a different font. Carl Urban. There you go. New Zealander? Spanish? Mexican. I can't tell. It doesn't say. Artsy, hello, hello. Carl Burl, if you must, says Tomo. And your butt says he's also in Lord of the Rings? What? You're fucking kidding. Who is he in Lord of the... Oh. What the fuck? He hasn't aged. And he's blonde? What the fuck? No, it's just as ways to get Diana to watch Lord of the Rings. I don't know. Also, someone said Jensen Ackles. Yeah, holy shit. Jensen Ackles was also in The Boys. That was, Jensen Ackles wasn't my first celebrity crush. It was the other brother from Supernatural. That was mine. Fish says, if there's a Doctor Who to Marvel pipeline, it's my favorite thing to show people. Is it really? Like British to Marvel? But not, yeah, Jared Padalecki. Yes, 1000%. 100%. Also, DVCU said this is just blonde Thomas Chusano and you can't convince me otherwise. Is Thomas here? Thomas, please tell me you're here. We're talking about Eowyn from Eowyn? We're talking about Carl Urban from Lord of the Rings, and he does look exactly like you. You can't beat the allegations. William, the Marshal, says District 9, guys. Oh, shit, I haven't seen... Who's in District 9? And also, Artsy says he's like everywhere. And Atari de Commando says Doctor Who to Marvel to Lord of the Rings. Are we talking about Magic the Gathering? Kind of. Also, Nodster's heading off to bed. Have a good night, Nodster. And then Cashgirl said, all British actors are just recycled Doctor Who characters. What does that mean for... Shit, what's Lord of the Rings but more adultish? What's that show again? Game of Thrones? That is definitely... I know it's based off of a book, don't yell at me. What does that mean for Game of Thrones? Is there a crossover of Game of Thrones people to... Andrew Garfield was on Doctor Who first? Says Fish. What the fuck? Andrew Garfield... Doctor Who. This is an insane pipe. Oh my god, he's got a little hat. Holy shit, look at this British little man. I guess he is actually British, but... What the fuck? No, don't save the picture. I don't need this. He looks like a little newsboy. I want to steal his lunch bunny. Look at this guy. Also, Matt Smith is literally in House of the Dragon, says Fish. Who's Matt Smith? Paul the Map Guy is also here saying, maybe she meant more adulteresses and more adult themes like Hanky Panky. That's true, they do straight up hang dong in that show, don't they? I didn't get very far, I got a decent amount of the way into it. I stopped before the normal stopping point, but I still stopped before the last season, so, you know. Akoto says it makes sense that Diana's a Sam Winchester lover. What the fuck are you talking about? What do you mean? What do you mean it makes sense? What do you mean? What? That's fine. I don't know what you're talking about. I've never seen a flannel in my life. Paul says, how you doing this first week of December? Dying. Mostly. Juice Covington says, oh my god, he's got a little hat from Diana. Yeah, look at this little man. Was he a doctor? He was the 11th Doctor? What the fuck? Oh no, Matt Smith was the 11th Doctor. Got it. Also, Shaolin, hi, welcome in. And Thickinder says property damage, my favorite. It's because I've had these lights up for studio work that I haven't heard back on yet, so I'm working on it. Also, Hato says David Bradley has been in both Doctor Who and Game of Thrones. David Bradley? Oh shit, the guy who was in Harry Potter. What was he in Game of Thrones? Oh, he looks like he was born to, oh shit. Oh my god. He was that guy? Oh. Oh, he was Walder Frey? Got it. Noted. Also, Cash Cal said Game of Thrones is just a fantasy recounting of the War of the Roses. I've never heard of the War of the Roses. But hey, Bronze Peanut, welcome in. You came at a great time. We're yelling about actors. And by we, I mean me. Also, Akoto says look up Osha the Wildling too. Yeah, Jesus. So sorry, Instagram. That's gonna continue happening until I get a fucking case on this phone because it's just slippy and slidey. Osha the Wildling. Yes, so I know this girl because she was in... Ooh, what was she in? Was she in a Black Mirror episode? I feel like she was in a Black Mirror episode. What's her... Okay. Osha, what's the actress's name, though? No one is saying what the actress's name is. Oh, she was in Harry Potter. I never actually saw Harry Potter. But also, Artsy Key says Instagram viewers are getting concussed every 20 minutes from this living phone. I'm so sorry, Instagram. Come to Twitch if you want to see what's up. Yeah, so she wasn't Black Mirror. Was she the one who... Hold on. Actress. Who is she? What's her name? Natalia Tina. Tenna? Tenna. Okay. She was in John Wick. That was it. I remember. Why didn't you guys start with that? Why didn't you lead with that? Yeah, so she was, okay, I see the Tonks picture now. She was, she was in John Wick 4. And she was the one who got branded with, mind you, I can recount this movie like the back of my fucking hand. And she branded the front of her hand. Yeah, I don't know. It was great. I liked her character quite a bit, actually. She's a very good actor. Artsy says we're trying to lead from everywhere. I know. All roads lead back to, apparently, British television, according to Fish. And Matt Nicholson. Let's see. What else? Oh my gosh. Also, John Park over on YouTube says, hey there, how goes it? Hi! Saying, yelling about actors is my part-time job. My girlfriend and I go way too hard when we talk about actors. Cause it's like the world gets so much smaller when you're an adult, and I feel like seeing the same actors in all the same shit is a very big indicator of that. And it's like that, and then also going to a convention and seeing the same people over and over, you know, or going on a random trip. The first time you go on a random trip to somewhere in the middle of the fucking world where you haven't told anyone you're going, and you just randomly run into a coworker or some shit, that type of stuff instantly makes the world feel so much smaller. At least in my head. Let's see. Instagram viewer here says, oh my god, wit and or sarcasm, saying, it's okay, I actually love being dropped, it's fine. Let's see. And Lino says it's Mickelson's all the way down. Oh my gosh. Ethan wants me to breathe. And Lukic has a hydrate. People are also talking about the Truman Show. There was someone in the Truman... I feel like there should have been more people in the Truman Show who got famous. Right? Like, I only remember Jim Carrey. But I feel like the person who played... I mean, I guess the wife is like a little bit famous. I feel like so many more of the people on that show, so much more of the cast should have been in a bunch of other stuff. Let's see. Laura Linney. I know her from stuff. Could not tell you what. She wasn't in Limitless, was she? Also, Artsy says, I've done that so many times going to conventions. I met someone from the med industry who knows game dev people I've met at conventions, and suddenly the world got real small. Yeah, it's crazy. Let's see. Oh my gosh. And then also, Constant Traveler says, any Toronto D&D pals on here? Forever DM looking to be a player for once. Highly recommend start playing for that sort of stuff. Or just for the local game stores. There's a decent amount of them. Afraid I don't know anyone in Toronto, though. Not on the player side. And Diner in a Game, or Dinner in a Game, says, is this like a variation of the Kevin Bacon thing? Kind of, yeah. All YouTubers kind of know each other, and it feels like a joke, but it genuinely, like... Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. But we do all know each other, especially when it comes to short-form platforms, you know? Also, Cash Cow said, my favorite Jim Carrey movie is Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. I feel like I started to watch it, and I didn't get it. Am I... Hold on. Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. Was it based on a book or something? A romantic drama film, blah, 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 blah. Uses psychological drama and science fiction in a non-linear narrative to explore the nature of memory and love. I've heard it's really good, and it's an ex-boyfriend's favorite movie, which is the only reason I remember it as a title. He re-experiences his memories of a girl in reverse chronological order, starting with their last fight. Maybe it's like giving the same vibe as The Secret Life of Walter Mitty, where I'm just like, I just didn't get it, perhaps. Club de Ferret's gonna go eat some soup. Enjoy the soup. And then Night Shift Loser over on Instagram says, great cast in Eternal Sunshine. Who was the girl? Oh, it's Kate Winslet. Never mind. That makes sense. Also, Mr. Chubbs says, hope everyone's having a great night. Hi, Chubbs. How's it going? And Myotra says, wait, I remember this. Isn't that ironic? Yeah, I was always when it comes to movies of this era, I always think Castaway. And what's wild is when I remember, I don't know why these two are connected in my head, don't ask me. When I remember Castaway, I think of the way that he's stuck on the island, and in my head, that's like the whole movie. I did not realize until I rewatched it as an adult, several years later, and several years ago to this day, that that's not actually the focus of the movie. And that's actually a pretty small part of the entire plot. Like, it takes them almost an hour to get stuck on the island, I'm pretty sure. And I don't remember it taking that long at all. Mr. Chubbs says, just another day in the neighborhood. Went to the gym, came home, we repeat tomorrow. Hell yeah. And Ladybird says Castaway is so good. I wish there was a remake of Castaway, to be honest, but I feel like it'd be less believable nowadays. Because, first of all, who's shipping anything through FedEx? Let's see. HG says they both have white guys. Listen. That's not the only reason. Also, Nika says, hi, do you have any suggestions to close the Marshall-Castor divide? Because it seems kind of impossible without overhauling the Marshall classes. I don't. I have never not multi-classed to try and close the divide, to be fully honest. Also, Myodra says, wait, I swear to God that he took like 10 to 20 minutes to get stranded. I feel like I remember it just like starting on the plane crash. And then he goes back, and then he has to deal with life back with her again, with his wife. And I feel like that's also a significant portion of the last part of the movie. And yeah, no, once you get into it, it's actually not a big, the island is a relatively small part of it. Cashgal said Castaway 2, thrown away. Someone says 2 cast, 2 away. Oh my God. Yeah, but the best scenes are on the island, and it's like, it's giving, God, and I'm pretty sure this show is so problematic. But there was a show called Crusoe back in the day. And by back in the day, I mean like the 2000s. Yeah, 13 episodes. It was a short series based loosely on the novel Robinson Crusoe, which, by the way, I read the OG Robinson Crusoe, I'm pretty sure. And I feel like I remember it being actually kind of decent for how old it was. I feel like, potentially. God, yeah, Crusoe was ages ago. Holy shit. God. Let's see. HT says the Hatchet book. Actually, I never read Hatchet. I had a lot of... Hatchet was very big in my teen little Oregonian school growing up. Also, Orky Gecko says, this is my first stream live, and I like that we're just Googling shit. And yeah, it's even better if I can share my screen on Twitch, but unfortunately, it's not an option I have on... It's not on Instagram, but I'm gonna try and figure out if they have a desktop version or something. And then Mr. Chubb says, I loved Hatchet. So, was it a survival book? Because I remember, mind you, I was surrounded. That was deep in the most intensely, like, wilderness explorer, build your own fort in the middle of some random park somewhere, part of suburban Southwest Portland. And so I had a bunch of friends who were really, really, really into Hatchet and who would do, like, their own bushcraft type stuff. And it's like, motherfuckers, you guys are in the whitest part of one of the whitest cities in the most affluent sections of your fucking state. What do you mean you feel the need to go out into the woods and build yourself some nonsense? I don't know. There were some people who were really into it. I was not one of those people. That's Southwest Portland for you. But Hatchet was a really big part of their childhood. Was it like a survival book? Hatchet. 1987. Jesus. Ugh. Young adult wilderness survival novel. First of 5 in the Hatchet series. There was 5 of these things? He didn't die? Oh, HT also says they dropped that he saw his mom cheating on his dad and didn't elaborate on it any further in the book. You're kidding. Also, Myodra says, have you read The Last Unicorn? It's a book about where the tropes of a storybook world are inherently known to the people. Really? I've never heard of it. Also, EN Games says, first stream ever. I loved your content for a while. I just never knew you streamed. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I feel like I get that all the time, which is wild because I do talk about my streams quite a bit, I feel like. Also, Jayhawk says, I had to look it up. Castaway is 2 hours and 23 minutes long. The plane crashes in the first 15 minutes and the rescue doesn't start till after the 2-hour mark, so the vast majority of the movie is on the island. What am I remembering then? Am I gonna get vastly mixed up with something else? Where he has to, like, reacclimate to the real world or some shit, and that's, a fate. I don't know. I don't remember anything very well. Mr. Chubb says, so was Shel Silverstein. I loved The Giving Tree. Dude, wasn't The Giving Tree considered incredibly problematic? Because it was something about, they considered it like an abusive relationship or something like that? Maybe? Also, Mr. Chubb says you were thinking of Overboard, maybe? I've never heard of Overboard, so I don't think so. Also, Chris Mel says it sounds like CW's Arrow. God, do you remember that era of just awful CW shows that were all based off of, superheroes? Or the supernatural? There was not a single normal show on that fucking, on that website. Let's see. The Magicians. I didn't realize that was CW. It probably deserved better. I'm pretty sure I remember... Dude! Okay, hold on. I'm gonna go back to the CW shows in a sec. Not that I've seen a single one in, like, several years. Cashco said, hey now, they were not bad. They were better than the movies they put out. Are we talking about the superhero movies or CW movies? Because I didn't know CW movies existed. Also, hello, Vaporox and Williker? Hi. Hello. Same with Tom Subs and Bike Life subbed with Prime. Good to see you. Oh yeah, it says the Giving Tree is just exercise and distraught. The Giving Tree. Because there was a lot of like controversy, right? Yeah, okay, one of the most divisive books in children's literature. Jesus, that's fucking a strong statement. The controversy stems from whether the relationship between the main characters, the boy, and the eponymous tree should be interpreted as positive, where the tree gives the boy selfless love, or negative, where the boy and the tree have an abusive relationship. So I heard the positive version when I was a kid, and then the negative version not long later. But let's see. Oh my gosh, also Tom Sub says, hey Queenie, I've been following your Insta for a hot minute now, and yeah, I'm fortunately in the group of people who didn't know you were on Twitch. I've been on Twitch for 2 years. I think, streaming not super consistently, but relatively consistently. So whoopsies. I need to talk about it more. I'll post something recent, or some such. But yeah, every Monday through Wednesday. And Victor says sadly I need to go to sleep. It may or may not be 2 in the morning for me. Jesus fuck. It was great to catch your stream again. Oh yeah. And then Paul the Map Guy says the Giving Tree is absolutely a cautionary tale, because she fucking gets mutilated at the end, right? The book follows the lives of an apple tree and a boy who develop a relationship with each other. The tree is very giving, and the boy ages into a taking teenager. Yeah, this little shit. He was thankless, that kid. A young man, a middle-aged man, and finally an elderly man. Despite the fact that the boy ages in the story, the tree addresses him as boy throughout his entire life. In his childhood, he enjoys playing with the tree, climbing her trunk, swinging from her branches, carving me plus T into the bark, and eating her apples. Whoa. However, as the boy grows older, he spends less time with the tree and tends to visit her only when he wants something. Or not coming to the tree alone, like bringing his girlfriend and carving me plus YL. Often assumed to be an initialism for young love into the tree. In an effort to make the boy happy at each of these stages, the tree gives him parts of herself, which he can transform into items like money from her apples or a house from her branches. With every stage of giving, the tree was happy. However, the boy is middle-aged and asks to chop the tree to make himself a boat? Also, Tom Steps, thank you so much for the 730 bits. Oh my god. Saying one for each day I'm late to your stream. Also, taking teenager is wild. Yeah, they do not do this boy. To be fair, the kid was kind of a dick. Also, Dolfo says, hold up, it's a movie? Is it a movie? Wait. Nah, it's just a Shel Silverstein book, it looks like. Other versions. Oh shit, yeah, a short animated film of the book featured Silverstein's narration. God, I forgot about Shel Silverstein's fucking portrait that he slapped on the back of his books. This man did not do himself any favors. He created an adult version of the story in a cartoon titled I Accept the Challenge, where a nude woman cuts off a nude man's arms and legs with scissors, then sits on his torso in a pose similar to the final drawing, The Giving Tree, in which the old man sits on the stump. What the fuck? Dude, has anyone checked on Shel Silverstein lately? Oh my god. Also, Paul the Map Guy says his Wikipedia page probably has more words on the word count of the book itself. Ugh, that is insane. Also, Tom Seb says, I thought Shel Silverstein was a woman. My love of their poetry seems misplaced now. And Lugic says Shel is very deceased. Oh, okay. Well, at least it's weird. That's weird, right? Weird. Mr. Chubb says it's an adult adaptation of it. Beloved children's poet Shel Silverstein making an adult version of anything seems wrong to me. Not that I'm gonna typecast anyone as someone who's played a pirate in every single D&D game I've ever played in, but Jesus fuck. Jesus. Paul the Map Guy says, what the actual fuck? Yeah, holy shit. Also, Tom Subs says, I shall return here shortly. Good to see you, Tom. So, let's see. In the final pages, both the tree and the boy feel the consequences of their respective giving and taking nature. When only a stump remains for the tree, the boy returns as a tired elderly man. I swear to God, I can read. To meet the tree once more. She mentions she cannot provide him shade, apples, or any materials like the past. The man tells her that all he wants is a quiet place to sit and rest, which the tree, who is weak just being a stump, could provide. With this final stage of giving, the tree was happy. Sounds fucking awful. Yeah, no, religious interpretations. Good God, people are saying that it's only successful because it was religious. It's an allegory about the responsibilities a human being has for living organisms in the environment. Oh God. Some people consider it a mother-child relationship, a friend relationship. Goodness, some believe it's actually satire and is along a similar line to A Modest Proposal by Jonathan Swift. Elite essay, by the way. Highly recommend. Good God. Oh my God, DBCU said Shel Silverstein wrote for Playboy? He was very adult and the children's stuff was the side work. You're kidding. I'm very gullible. Do not tease me with something that might not be true like that. That is insanity. Is that actually true? Holy shit. Ugh. Should I'm gonna take you guys off of the screen share. Was Shel Silverstein actually an American writer, cartoonist, songwriter, and musician? He was drafted into the US Army, and yeah, his illustrations were published in Playboy. And he also wrote a satirical, adult-oriented alphabet book called Uncle Shelby's ABC book. Oh, okay. He's a children's author for things such as The Giving Tree, Where the Sidewalk Ends, and A Light in the Attic. Interesting, and he was the recipient of 2 Grammys, as well as nominations for a Golden Globe and an Academy Award. Whoa. Interesting. Lucas says, chat, grab popcorn for this one. Ugh. And Jevin the Wise says, it sounds like Dr. Seuss and his racist comics. I guess. Jesus. He's also, hold on, he began drawing at age 7, and he told Publishers Weekly when he was 12 to 14, girls didn't want him. Not much he could do about that, so he started to draw and to write. Oh man. You know, we're just gonna close this tab. I don't think I have anything further to say on that front. Let's look at Tim Roth again. Let's see. Paul the Map Guy says, this is what I come to this stream for, though. Learning fucked up lore. Apparently. Also, Thomas says Shel Silverstein's name wasn't Shell. Oh, God. And also, Ladybird says, see you later, must create Christmas gifts. Dude, what is everyone getting their friends for Christmas? I feel like no one knows what they want. I don't know if that's just a consequence of, like, adulthood at this point. Or Mr. Chubb says that went dark so fast. Good God. And also Tom Sub says, from 14, I didn't want me at 14. Dude, yeah, having those sorts of thoughts as a 14-year-old is insanity. But also kids will be fucking kids, I guess. Hello, Bones, welcome in. And Correct says, I didn't realize he wrote Where the Sidewalk Ends. Yeah, he also, dude, do you guys remember, oh God, along the same lines, that same era, Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. This is gonna be kind of a throwback. There were 3 of these. I do not remember them coming out in the fucking 80s though. I feel like I remember them being way sooner or way more recent. October 30, oh wow, nice. The release date was October 31st, 1984 for the first one. The second one by Alvin Schwartz. Oh wait, the third one, sorry. Came out, Jesus, yeah, I remember them having this in my library as a kid. Just a full-on picture of a severed hand. Just kind of chilling there. Absolutely insane. Hidden Niggler says, I still want to buy my best friend a gift. Yeah, it's hard nowadays as an adult. Jordan says he wouldn't have read them in the 80s. That's true. They also, I remember there was one. Was this where the woman with the green ribbon around her neck came from, or was that something else? I also remember there was one where there was like a toe, right? That got planted like a plant in a garden. And that was one, right? And Game says the one story about the girl who wore ribbons on her neck was so scary. Yeah, oh my gosh. Fuck, what was it called? Green ribbon around neck. Was that from Scary Stories? No, In a Dark, Dark Room and Other Scary Stories. Oh, shit. Yeah, but it was the same guy. Oh God, but it's for people at reading level 2? It was published as part of an I Can Read series in 1984. I could read. Time to get traumatized, kid. Congrats on your literacy. Let's scare you for life. The green ribbon follows a girl named Jenny. She always wears a green ribbon around her neck and meets a boy named Alfred. She refuses to reveal to Alfred why she wears the ribbon despite his pleading, and even when the two are wed, she wears the ribbon every day. She says she's just waiting for the right time. Jenny gets terribly sick and tells Alfred the time is right. He unties the ribbon, causing her head to fall off. The ribbon had been holding Jenny's head to her neck. Sorry, spoiler for something that came out in 1984, by the way, which is why she couldn't take it off. Ugh. There's also, the rest of these stories don't seem very scary, but they must have seemed fucking horrifying as a child. This one's called The Teeth, where it's just a kid running into 3 consecutive people with really long teeth, and that's the scary part. Oh my god, also DVCU said, okay, but Scary Stories is like the intro book to Junji Ito. The only Junji Ito thing I know is, Fault. June, how do you spell this? There we go. The Enigma of Amigara Fault. If you guys haven't read this, by the way, really fucking good story. It's one of those short stories that just kind of like exists with you. It's internet lore, deep internet lore. But also, Dotto says, have you played The Wolf Among Us? They make so many nods to most of these fables. Would so recommend. I haven't. I really need to. I was thinking about playing it on stream, but it comes from an age before streaming was really a thing, and there's straight up tits in one of the first opening sequences. I have it though. I have it. I might play it and just censor it and put it on YouTube or something. Because I really want to get back into Telltale games. Ever since Dispatch came out, I haven't played it, but I really want to get more into like choose your own adventure type games. Hi, Dr. Nort. Hello, hello, saying greetings all. How you feeling tonight? We're doing good. We're talking about media again. And Jordan says, you either read it and got really into horror or you were a loser. Yeah, so this is a classic one. I saw a bunch of Junji Ito graphic novels from in a bookstore in Seattle, I think it was. And they looked really fucking interesting. But it's been a long time. I didn't have the time to read them. Also, Cash Cal said if you want horror story games, let me know. Dude, have you guys seen... Okay, not a game. Not a game. It's a short movie. Have you ever seen Portrait of God? It's a short story, short film on YouTube. It's 7.5 minutes long. And words cannot express how fucking wild it is. I went on a deep dive not long ago where I sat down with my friend Bryn, who was on one of the newer episodes of Worlds Apart. Highly recommend them, by the way, just as a human being. They're fucking hilarious. And we sat down and just like started watching a bunch of really scary short stories. It was The Other Side of the Box, Portrait of God. I'm pretty sure the My House walkthrough. If you guys don't know that, that's, oh my god. Highly recommend. It's fucking terrifying and just a crazy set too. But it's like internet, like old school internet creepypasta, essentially. It won a bunch of awards. Then Jordan Peele is actually making it into a whole myhouse.wad. That's it. Yeah, Jordan Peele's making this one into a proper long form video, a fucking movie. God, awful. They're also making a Backrooms movie, apparently, which I didn't know about. But yeah, My House is another one. No, not this one, actually. I'm thinking of a different one. My House walkthrough. Yeah, there we go. My House walkthrough. This is fucking terrifying as well. And then... God, what was it? The Other Side of the Box was another one. This one is just creepy as hell. Ugh. You can watch it all on TikTok nowadays. It gets intense. Also, Mr. C says, sorry, what were the movies again? The first one we were talking about was Portrait of God. This one is The Other Side of the Box. And then the other one we were talking about is My House Walkthrough. Gets crazy. Paul the Map Guy says, oh yes, more Jordan Peele stuff to watch. Yeah! Guy's really fucking good at what he does. Coming from Key and Peele to this sort of shit. Ugh. Also, Artsy says, I love how they implemented the girl with the green ribbon in the other fables in the Wolf Among Us series. Yeah, doesn't the girls with the green ribbons, they can't talk, right? They keep saying these lips are sealed or something like that because the ribbon is enchanted and makes them not snitch or something like that. Also, Stevie says you can watch Primer fully on YouTube, which is not a horror movie, but it's the best time travel movie I've ever seen. Oh, wait, someone brought this up recently. Yeah, a 2004 American independent science fiction film. It depicts the events surrounding the accidental discovery of time travel. It's noted for extremely low budget, experimental plot structure, philosophical implications, and complex technical dialogue. Oh, which Kareth, a college graduate with a degree in math and a former engineer, chose not to simplify for the sake of the audience. That's kind of cool. It won a Sundance thing. Oh my god, and they actually have a whole ass diagram. Dude, I love it when a movie is so complicated that you need a diagram for it. Same with Tenet. Except Tenet gets fucking insane because you have to move like forwards and backwards in time and all that. Ugh. JX says, Primer is one you'll not understand the first time. True, no matter how much you pay attention. Oh, and also Myodra wants us to guide the raid. Yeah, we can absolutely do that. Lucas says, you need a diagram for Lord of the Rings. Okay, you don't, but it was worth a try. All right. There was also, what's the one, was it Looper? I'm not a big fan of time travel movies because the paradoxes get to me and I can't get them out of my head. But the concept of Looper is a pretty solid one as well. Not so complex that you need a diagram or anything, but I like it. Jeffin says the butterfly effect. Exactly. Or like that paradox, where if you like touch yourself in not the hot way, then you'll explode. That keeps getting to me and I can't get over it with time travel movies. My author says Inception. Inception is solid. And then JX says Primer is when you will... Oh wait, no, I read that already. And Lucas says... No, I read that one already too. I think I'm getting caught up on chat. Holy shit. Also, Jeff in the Y says Donnie Darko. So I've heard Donnie Darko is one of those movies that's like... Is it a horror movie? Because it looks like a horror movie from the outside. Sorry, John Leguizamo. You gotta go for a second. It's a sci-fi thriller. With Seth Rogen? Seth Rogen is in this movie? A science fiction psychological thriller film written and directed by Richard Kelly. Development began in 97. It came out in 2001. It was a Sundance film. Someone sleepwalks outside, and once outside, he meets a figure named Frank in a monstrous rabbit costume, telling Donnie that the world will end in precisely 28 days. He wakes up the next morning on a local golf course and returns home to discover that a engine has crashed into his bedroom. Over the next several days, Donnie continues to have visions of Frank, the rabbit? Is this just mascot horror? It's mascot horror, isn't it? Let's see. And his parents, Eddie and Rose, send him to a psychotherapist, Dr. Thurman. He believes Donnie is detached from reality and that his visions of Frank are daylight hallucinations, symptoms of paranoid schizophrenia. Frank asks Donnie if he believes in time travel, and Donnie asks his science teacher, who gives him the Philosophy of Time Travel, a book. Okay, this is a lot. Written by a Jesus. Huh, scared the shit out of me. I'm so sorry, Instagram. By a senile woman living outside of town, known to the local teenagers as Grandma Death. Damn, imagine local teenagers calling you Grandma Death. And also Jordan says it'll ruin the movie. Oh, should I just watch it? Oh, it's considered one of the 500 greatest movies of all time and one of the 50 greatest independent films of all time. I was just like seeing what the fuck the point is. Like, why does the rabbit... At what point is the rabbit important? Oh my god, it's this fucker. Jake Gyllenhaal. Dude, whatever happened to Jake Gyllenhaal? Can we bring him back? Can we put fucking, what's his fuck back where he came from? Glenn Powell. And then bring Jake Gyllenhaal back? He was in Spider-Man 2. It always comes back around to Spider-Man. Jesus fuck. Hi, Alan. Welcome in. And then Paul. Welcome in as well. Good to see you. CB says back to Glenn Powell. And then also someone says, if you haven't seen it, it's definitely cool. Okay. And then also Ryrie says, Donnie Darko isn't a horror movie, it's more of a gothic drama. It's metaphysical and stuff, says Brian Transplant. Oh, gotcha. It's a sad boy movie. Noted. It's where that says Glenn Close. Jordan says he was in Roadhouse. What is Roadhouse? Is this gonna be one of those ones that I regret looking up? Roadhouse. Oh my god, Amazon was pushing this so fucking hard. I thought, okay. I just want you to know, every time I opened Instagram, this was staring at me, and I thought it was softcore porn. Is it good? Should I watch it? I mean, not that you need to convince me, because it's got Jake Gyllenhaal in it, but I just assumed. Cashel said, leave my Donnie Darko sad boy movie alone. What's it actually about? I mean, I can see the OG is here. Whoop. Not AI mode. Not Texas Roadhouse. Hold on. A action film. Oh. Stars Patrick Swayze as the bouncer at a newly refurbished roadside bar who protects a small town Missouri from a corrupt businessman. Oh. Okay. Why do I know the name Sam Elliott? That's not who I was thinking of. A professional bouncer, blah, 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 blah. Interesting. Paul the Map Guy says one picture is just a Texas Roadhouse. Yeah, hold on. There we go. This is what I'm familiar with. Hashtag not my Roadhouse. Cashgirl said you can watch both of them and both of them are good. Oh, okay. Now this makes me want to watch Pulp Fiction again. Now that we're just talking about action movies and shit like that. We could even go back and go all the way back to Tim Roth. Can we full circle this? Is Mark Wahlberg doesn't happen to be in Roadhouse, is he? I can't take this man seriously. House Duggan says, now I'm hungry. Dude, me too. Dude, I redid Treat Stream. Again. I feel like it's a recession indicator that I have to redo my Treat Stream every, like, 30 days because the restaurants that are on it continue to close down and then reopen again or adjust their hours for the tourist seasons in Bend. But I redid it, and I added some stuff. It's mostly the same stuff as before, but just from different places. Also, I am Lundra says Southern accent. Butter tastes like cinnamon. Dude, cinnamon butter's so easy to make. Highly recommend just making it. It's 2 ingredients, maybe 3. It's really solid. Also, Jamarathon says, speaking of Treat Stream, check your phone. I can't. It's on Instagram. Hi, Instagram. It's like right there, bouncing against my monitor. If you sent food though, thank you so much, because I haven't eaten all day and I haven't thought about it until just now, staring at Texas Roadhouse rolls. Also, Correx says they claim that those are complimentary rolls, but they've never have said anything nice about me. And then also Tomo says what goes in cinnamon butter, and Ion has it right. It's butter, honey, and cinnamon. If you guys, okay, this is the real recession indicator, is Googling like knockoff recipes instead of going out. Knockoff Texas Roadhouse butter. It's 3 ingredients. Yeah, copycat recipes. Sorry, not knockoff recipes. It's butter, sugar, honey, ground cinnamon, and salt. It is incredibly sweet butter. By the way, also Cash said, Diana, you need to eat. We're in lean times. I had ramen earlier. Sort of. I actually found the best ramen, like, enhancement recipe. It was pretty decent. But I did that thing where I started making it, and then, do you guys ever do this where you start cooking and you spend so long cooking and put so much effort into your food that by the time it's done, you're kind of just like, and you don't really want to eat it? Also, someone said the Seattle area has no Texas Roadhouse except on base. Oh man, yeah. So we don't have Chili's in Oregon. Same vibe. Also, Roguelike Bagel, hi, great name, says, great videos, what TTRPGs do you play besides 5e? Oh, I really want to play Colts. I really want to play Colts so bad. I've gotten invited to do Call of Cthulhu live. Daggerheart. I don't know, I kind of just have everything at this point. Dude, you guys want to know my best ever? Okay, I talked about this on the members only side of YouTube. So if you're a member at the Savior level or higher, which I think is like $5, it might be $4, somewhere between $4 and $6 a month, you get 2 short forms a week talking about random shit. And one of the things I talked about was the knockoff Panda Express recipe that I would die to protect this recipe. Okay, this recipe right here, I'm gonna put it in chat for you guys because it is so fucking good. YouTube, you get to see it too. I'm gonna put it in all the chats. This recipe is one that I would protect with my life. And if I could only ever cook one thing from a recipe ever again, it would be this orange chicken. It is so good. It's a perfect copy for Panda Express. And they used to have a video where they would make it as well. So if you don't like reading, then they had that. But it's so fucking spot on. It's so good. Jordan says it's actually so close to taste fatigue. It's actually just being really hungry. Oh, really? Whoops. Also, Ion says just tossing it out there. I haven't been on Twitch in a while, but I had to return to watch your nonsense. Welcome to the nonsense. We have just been hopping between like subjects for basically an hour and a half. That's all we do. Also, Paul says I literally ate this for lunch today. It's so good. So there's very few recipes that I absolutely like love as far as copycat recipes. There's also tasty, what is it? No, it's not a tasty recipe. It's, ooh, what is it? Soft pretzels. Also incredibly easy to make. I think it's the All Recipes recipe. They're incredibly easy to make. The secret is a baking soda bath, which is easier than it sounds. Highly recommend, and they honestly taste better than if you buy them out at, you know, I won't go to a, you know, a mall pretzel spot or like an airport pretzel spot anymore. It's so good. It's so good and it's so easy. This right here, the baking soda hot water solution, that's all it takes to keep it like nice and soft. And there's a recipe out there that you can get for like, oh my God, like the cheese, like the beer cheese. Ugh, so good. Also, Jordan says binging with Babish, the extra work recipe is the best. Oh my God, that's the guy who makes the stuff from video games, right? Like the full-on Monster Hunter World recipes and all that. Also, Roguelike says I've personally gotten really into Draw Steel. I've heard good things about Draw Steel. I've heard good things about DC-20. Lucas says I love the Snyder's pretzels. Those knots are the best. I've never heard of them actually. Oh shit, there was another. Oh my God, it's the, oh, what is it? Cheesy garlic bombs. This isn't even a real recipe. It's from fucking Reddit from forever ago. Garlic cheese bombs. So fucking easy to make. You quite literally just take like mozzarella sticks, like string cheese. You chop them up. You wrap them in pizza dough, like pre-refrigerated pizza dough that you can get at the grocery store that they make in bulk and sell for like pennies. And you wrap it around little bits of mozzarella. And then you put it in a cast iron pan. And then you sprinkle like Italian seasoning and butter and garlic on it, and then you bake it, and then you pull it out, and then you have monkey bread, but it's like cheesy monkey bread. And then you dip it in marinara sauce. And when I tell you, this shit is to die for. It's supposed to be an appetizer. I have made it as just a straight up, this has been my meal, like crouched over a cast iron like a little gremlin. I've done that so many times. This is what I got by with in college. Yeah, it was so good. God. But yeah, anyway, let's see, Brian Transplant says there's no panda in it though. I know, it's inauthentic Panda Express without the panda. I don't know, there are so many copycat recipes out there, and there are very few that are actually good. I feel like cinnamon rolls back in the day, like those are really easy to make. Lucas says it sounds like one of those meals that Josh Elkin makes. Who's Josh Elkin? And Kashka said I have a bunch of recipes I like to make, like cheese sticks using ground chicken and blueberry muffins with like 4 ingredients. Ooh, that sounds good. Yeah, there's also a certain point though in the economy, and I feel like we've hit that point where it's just cheaper to buy the thing pre-frozen and pre-made than it is to make it yourself. The Mythical Kitchen guy. Is that the guy who did a bunch of cooking shirtless and he was just wearing an apron? I never knew that guy's name. Also, Lino says the Panda Express contains panda. I want absolutely no clarification on Italian seasoning. Look. Sorry, he's still sick. Well, with that, I'm gonna send you guys over to a friend of mine. Not a friend, Dyconologist, actually. A lovely streamer who I'm assuming is on right now because Myodra paid for us to guide the raid over on Twitch, which means I'm gonna say goodbye to everyone over on TikTok. Thank you guys so much for watching on TikTok. I will see you guys over on Twitch or YouTube next time, I hope. And then same with you folks on Instagram. I will see you guys tomorrow at 5 o'clock Pacific. And I'm still experimenting with this trying to keep track of 5 chats at once thing. If you want to definitely get your message seen though, Twitch is usually the place where I can watch. And then I can share my screen with you guys and talk about stuff and actually have more of a two-way dialogue. So love you all. I will see you guys on Twitch or YouTube next time. Let's see, and then I'm gonna hop on over YouTube. I can't do anything about. Unfortunately, I can't send you guys over to a friend. What I can do is raid into a friend over on Twitch. So if you're watching on Twitch, hang tight. We're gonna go say hi to Dyconologist, who's doing some art right now, and then also has, oh my God, they're a radish PNG tuber. That's actually pretty fucking cute. I'm gonna send you guys over to them. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you again tomorrow at 5 o'clock Pacific time for the continuation of our nonsense. And until then, bye-bye. There we go. That's the right outro. Oh my God, wait. Is it automatically switching back to my... Oh, that's broken. How is that even? I'm like clicking on my offline thing and it's automatically switching back to the void. What the fuck? How is that even possible? Okay. I'll fix that later. I'm just gonna send you guys over. Tell them I said hi.